Hey everyone, Hans here, hope you're doing well. Been through a few takes at this point actually. Couldn't quite get through my words. Doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does. And at the risk of not having thought it out completely, I'm still gonna make a video on this topic because it was just so much on my mind. I wanted to talk a little bit about the addiction to convenience, which is, I think, a main trait of the vague, the moral vague. And first, I want to unpack something about communication. You see, there are two kinds of communicators as I see it. Three, if you want to look at that, there is a hybrid between both. But you have people who predominantly communicate via logic, and you see in the white positive sphere, I would say almost 90% at least are logical communicators. Collect data, work through the data, bring out the information to you, right? I'm one of them myself, actually. It's just, yeah. There's nothing wrong with being a logical thinker. It's actually pretty damn good. It's good to be a logical thinker, but it's also good to be to be an emotional communicator or a logical communicator. Yeah. The emotional communicator is more bound to feel. They when someone says something to them, they want to feel what's right. They want to feel what's wrong. And anti-whites have been excellent manipulators in that field. They want to make whites feel bad. Urgh. Anti-white slur this, the R word, the 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 N word, from the 20th century regime, and all of that stuff. All of that filth to make whites feel bad, but at the same time make anti-whites feel good. Oh, you poor victim, you. There's bad white people making you feel bad because you're such a petty little creature that won't do anything for him or herself, and it's totally not your own fault. Let's, come cry on my shoulder, fellow anti-white, and let's destroy these European peoples for existing and being so awesome. But you get the idea. Why don't we have people in the white positive sphere who are more emotional communicators? You have communicators that are emotional, yeah, there is that, but that is not the same thing. People who can sit in front of you, look in your eyes, and they take in, and it takes energy. That is a skill, man. I I've been teaching it to myself as best as I could. I have had teachers myself in that field. I'm not the best at it. Those who can, like, hats off to you. But I suppose it is also a little bit, yeah, like I said, I'm a little bit differently wired. I'm just more logical. But there are those who can really communicate emotion. Why are there no people like that in the white positive sphere making pleas to the fakes and say, guys, please, do you not feel that pain when you hear about all of these molestations happening in cities all over the West? Children being kidnapped. You do realize that white positive people want to put a stop to that, right? That anti-whites want more of that. They want to hurt whites, and actually other races too, but predominantly whites are one of their first targets, maybe the first. Recently I got some information that anti-whites, they do hurt every race if they have half a chance. Medusalists is more of a, I think is the more common term for people who just hate everything, everyone, because they're just that petty. Anyways, but yeah, anti-whites, that's so long as you go, so long as you stand for white well-being, there's not a whole lot you can accidentally do wrong, and that's good. And even if you have these fakes who say, but I want to fight for the human race, well, aren't whites part of that? Okay, fine, you can fight for the entire human race. I stop at my own people because I think that every people should take care of its own business. every race has its own fate, its own destiny, and should pursue that. Which is also fair. That doesn't clash with those who want to fight for humanity, provided they mean it when they say that. There are plenty of anti-whites who use it as an excuse, right? That's that's again that emotional manipulation. But emotional communication is like, I was talking to a white teenager. It's like, never had anyone tell him or her that life is good and that you have so much to accomplish if you only want to. You have so many abilities. Sure, you might not be the best basketball player, or you might not be the best or one of the most epic musicians, but who knows what you're good at? Not everyone needs to be Mozart, you know. Being Joe the plumber, without Joe the plumber, Mozart would have been in deep trouble, or a lot sooner than he did, I guess. But you get the point. And to give people hope, that is what the emotional communicator should do. Anti-whites are emotional manipulators, but they understand this. They just do it they communicate in an abusive manner with people. We need people who communicate in a what is a good term? Build people up and put fire in their hearts. Logical thinkers are not good at that. We can present you every little detail that you need to hear to change the course of your life. The emotional communicator should actually go hand in hand with the logical one and say, yeah, and here is the fire that I can give you. Take some of my anger, righteous anger. Here is some of my berserking ability. Come on, take it. It's yours. If only you would have it. That sort of thing. Something that gives you goosebumps. Where are these orators of ours? They're around. They definitely are. I know one of them, but he's being kept down by people who are below par compared to him in intelligence. But that's a different story altogether. There are such people, and they should really come out and maybe communicate with themselves first in regards to their emotions. Like, why am I feeling so bad? Can't I just feel that and then move on and build myself up? That sort of thing. By the way, these people who talk about facts don't care about your feelings, how you feel doesn't change the facts, but how you feel can still dictate how you're gonna deal with the facts, right? So emotions are important, and don't let anyone else tell you that it isn't so. Yeah. So, coming to the point of addiction to convenience. What is addiction to convenience then? There could be a million examples, but I would go to civilization turns man into a docile creature. And mind you, there is a lot of dysgenics that have taken place that brought us to the point where a lot of people have been literally bred to have as little talents of the or drive towards freedom, I suppose. So there is a genetic component to that, but even that can be overcome. You are more than only your genetics. That sounds a bit strange, but you're not just a blob of flesh. You have a spirit that sits within you. Something that science, up until today, still can't really point out what the deal is. Although I heard something interesting, I wish I could name names. Did you know that the soul of the organism, if you will, is between 6,000 degrees, I think it's Celsius. So every one of you has a little fire in him or her that's about 6,000 degrees. Isn't that fascinating? We don't spontaneously combust, so it is that part of us that might just carry on once we are Once our mortal coil is just expired. Well, that's life, that's fine. It has its purposes. Trust nature. Trust the I don't want to say universe, but the word itself rubs me the wrong way. The multiverse. Trust the multiverse. Or the multiverses. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, addiction to convenience. Trying to stay on point here. Civilization wants, well, or anti-whites want to have civilization be full of docile people that they can use and abuse to their content, to their heart's, well, their charred husk of a heart's content, right? And they cannot do that if there are too many people who, well, have self-esteem, basically, have self-respect. No, you don't get to step on my toes without the consequences. No, you don't get to take stuff from me. No, you don't get to hurt anyone. No, very powerful word, but you have to be brave enough to use it. The fake, on the other hand, overall, most fakes, they are like, they are already halfway to, oh yeah, I guess it's fine. I just want to get by, dude. I just want to watch soccer. I want to drink beer. I just want to eat and lie in my bed. Whatever is convenient. I want to be able to go to the store. I want to be able to buy my furniture. Blah blah blah. Right? Just make life less hard. That's what it comes down to. So, what that tells to me is these people are addicted to convenience, to ease. They're addicted to having everything, basically the red carpet rolled out for them. And they allow themselves to be led by the nose by people who promise them that, even though they don't get it. But again, because they don't want to have any hardship, they are not willing to really think about life. Not really, not that much. Briefly, maybe, and then they get uncomfortable. Add then on top personal trauma, the fear of persecution. That is a very real thing. Oh, you're white. You dare to stand up for yourself? Anti-white slur. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah, someone with self-respect is gonna be like, man, do you sound silly. Actually pretty below par in intelligence while we're at it. And no, I'm not apologizing for anything. But a fake is like, oh, I'm sorry, please. I just want to have an easy life. Why? Why must you be so? Here, take everything, take everything. Even though then at the same time that thief is like, yeah, I'll take everything. By the way, you get everything. Oh, thank you, sir. It's, yeah. That's generally fakes for you, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm a bit harsh, but here's the thing. There is still, with the right communication, be it logical, and that has been done and tried and successful to an extent, the emotional speaker can then say, why do you let yourself be trampled upon like that? Didn't you feel angry? Help him feel. That's the best way I can put it, I suppose. Help him feel. Weren't you angry then when you had to give up your money? Weren't you angry then that you can't go to the store now? Weren't you sad that this anti-white trash basically was able to hurt the child and just got away with it for a week in prison? Or what? There are examples of these anti-whites. They're in prison for an hour, 2 hours, and then they're let out because they have the right connections. Doesn't that make you feel anything? Weren't you happy when weren't you happy to see all of those people do a reenactment event together and have a good time and indulge in their history? Well, I suppose. But there, the emotional communicator that knows how to work with that. Yeah, well, but what are you gonna do about it? Are you just really gonna wallow in it? Because that's a big part of it, right? Wallowing. It's like, yeah, me being one of the logical guys, I cannot really dig deeper into that. I can only speak to you as far as that. The emotional communicator can tell you, oh yeah, well, you have these means of speaking, you can use that tone of voice, you can use this sort of expression, yeah, be genuine. That's a big one, being genuine. You can't fake that. If you're genuinely out there, you want to help people. And if they are the types who want to be in a crowd themselves, these fakes, well, white positive crowds it be then. I hope that my videos in regards to that individualism and collectivism both are a false dichotomy, have a somewhat widespread lasting impact. So it doesn't become infighting nonsense. But you get the idea then, right? And there are people in the white positive sphere who are just waiting for someone to tell them what to do. And in a certain sense it is a fake attitude. Some people are like that. I'm not like it myself. I can't really speak to it, where that comes from. But maybe that has to do with their skill sets too. I'm not trying to be harsh or anything in that sense. Maybe these people really have just a skill set that they need to be put in a certain place. It's like a kind of a plumber, you know? You're not gonna, well, just pulling out a random example, right? Let's say you have a plumber. Let's say Hans is a plumber, he walks in the white positive sphere, and plumbing is what Hans knows, but that's it. And Hans is like, yeah, I'm willing to help. Someone needs to have any plumbing done? That sort of thing. That's fine. That's fine. We can only hope that there will be good people who come to them, and that, again, it only addresses yet again that charlatans need to be cleaned out. They should be invited to go. They should be called out. Just speak to evil instantly and push it out. Get rid of it. I've already given so many videos and it's by no means 100%. And are there some of these master vampires who can say all the right things their entire lives forever, and you wouldn't even feel it, that they're sucking away your energy and your money and what have you? That would be sad. But I actually think no, because the typical thing with those types is that they are not creative at all. You just need to tweak them to the point that they have to be creative to outsmart you, and that's where you got them, because they're not. They can only fall back then to what they heard in a movie here or read in a book there or what have you. And get it away. And be responsible with who you give your money to. You know? And your energy and your time. Predominantly, I would always suggest do as much as you can on your own with people that you can trust. Family and friends. People you met on the internet, yeah. I mean, I can speak for myself. Many become friends, become very important people in my life. But I've been into this for a while, and I'm getting, and I fell for it. I've said it before. I fell for pathological types taking advantage of me, but that helped me learn. And it didn't cost me all that much necessarily, in a certain sense. But yeah, the addiction to convenience, another aspect of that is, what is the convenience that appeals to the given vague you're talking with, or the group of vagues? If you're talking to a bunch of soccer fans, well, you know that their convenience is gonna be soccer related, right? Yeah, anti-whites are not gonna have a lot of soccer games left at this point. Actually, your teams are already not from the local area. They're all from whom knows where. Most of them are anti-whites actually in that team. You're gonna root for them. That sort of thing. That's the logical aspect, and then the emotional gets in. Yeah, why? Why would you do that? Like a coach, sort of. Yeah, and I think for those in the white positive sphere who want to talk with others, who want to communicate with others, you may want to bear this in mind. It might just preemptively help you know the skill sets you need to train for yourself to become more effective, and it might just give you the direction you need to notice. Like, it helps you look at other people too. Just in general, even if you're not necessarily want to do that, it's not for you. That you can just walk through life and say, okay, am I communicating with someone here who's emotional or logical or or a blend of? What conveniences are they all about? What is it you want? What is it you're about? Those kind of things. And you will actually really get to know people that way. Actually, in the white positive sphere, should do it with one another too. Why not? It's healthy, actually. You get to know the people around you, finally. Some people been talking with each other for years and they have neither a clue what one or the other is really about. Yeah, being white positive doesn't mean you're gonna get along with everyone, but you don't need to. No. You just need to agree that you're gonna stand by your own people and that predations against your own people are unacceptable. Whether it is only one guy, one girl, or 100 of them, 1,000 of them, 1,000,000 of them, it stays all in the middle. And yeah, what can I say? There are some charlatans in the white positive sphere that I intend to deal with yet. We have been hogging money from others, but that's still in the coming. That is something I'm still in need of working on. That won't be done overnight because they're fairly established, and I'm a one-man army, I suppose. I don't mind being that, but it makes things take a while. It's not gonna be for tomorrow either. Plus all the other stuff I wanna do. It is what it is. But yeah, I think that's the main thing about what I wanted to talk about. Got like a few minutes left, but I'm not sure if it's worth going on. It's beautiful, by the way, isn't it? It's a little patch of Europe, of European soil, blooming with the sun. No, you know what? I'll let it be for now. Yeah, think about it, I suppose. And the most important thing is, if you're an emotional communicator, and you want to help, you want to, partake. I suppose you can always reach out to me if you think you need to reach out to people at all. But make a stand for yourself and present this to people. Like these one-liners, like, oh, facts don't care about your feelings. Toss it over your shoulder and tell people to do the same. It's nonsense. You can't be this unthinking robot. That's insane. Or this unfeeling robot, I should say. Unthinking too, I guess, but yeah. No, emotions have their value, and a lot of people need to be taught how to handle them. It really is true. It really is the case. We have been, as a race, so hideously abused emotionally. It's one of the crimes that are actually unspoken. Did you know? Emotional abuse. Yeah, trauma. You might actually, in some courts, they will take account that you might have been traumatized. But even then, the real understanding isn't exactly there. How deeply can you really hurt the person on the emotional and psychological level? Did you know that since the 1800s, actually since the 1600s, I would even dare say, our ancestors were looking into this, maybe even long before, maybe thousands of years. And where is all that knowledge gone? Why do we know so little about ourselves in that field? I recommend Carl Jung, Friedrich Nietzsche, Heidegger, perhaps Kierkegaard, Schopenhauer, Hegel. Those are just the names that come to the top of my head. Even a few non-whites like Wilhelm Reich and Anna Freud. I know that Sigmund Freud has a very bad reputation, but try to bear it and genuinely read it. And the whole mother thing is probably not as outright disgusting as it first may seem. Like when I first heard it, it also made me like, but afterwards it's like, okay, it's not quite. It's in response to pathological types who've been abused. That's different, I guess. Anyways, these are some names that are at the top of my head. And if you want to know a little bit about psychology, I recommend those names and their works. They actually do a lot more with green. Hegel also has something interesting in the organic farm, or looking at the farm as an organism and all of that. I haven't read all of their works myself, it's quite a pile to work through. But I'm teaching myself as much as I can with what I can find, and maybe that's what a lot of people should do. If it's for you. If not, then do whatever you think is best for you. All in all, that's that. Yeah. I think I'm gonna leave it here for now. You all have a good one, and bye bye.